In the world of photography, new gear arrives almost every month promising faster autofocus, sharper sensors, bigger dynamic range, and smarter technology. And with mirrorless cameras dominating headlines, it's easy to believe that DSLRs are fading away. But then you pick up a camera like the Nikon D750, and suddenly you realize why some tools never lose their relevance. The D750 has become something of a legend, a full-frame workhorse known for its reliability, image quality, and unbeatable value. And in 2025, photographers across all levels still choose it over many newer alternatives. Today, we're going deep into what makes the Nikon D750 so special, how it stacks up against modern competitors, and why it continues to be a top choice despite all the new technology in the market. But before we get started, if you love photography breakdowns, gear comparisons, and educational content that helps you level up your craft, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow and allows me to bring even more helpful content to you. Let's begin with the heart of the D750, its 24.3 megapixel full-frame sensor. This sensor is one of the reasons the D750 earned such a strong reputation from the moment it launched. Even today, it produces images with excellent detail, rich color depth, and impressive dynamic range. Many photographers still say the D750 files feel alive, especially when editing raw images. You can lift shadows heavily without destroying the image, and highlights roll off naturally rather than clipping harshly. When comparing this to cameras like the Sony A7 III, Nikon Z5, or Canon EOS R, the D750 still holds up remarkably well. In fact, some photographers prefer its color science because it gives skin tones a very natural look, which is essential for portrait and wedding work. Low light performance is another area where the D750 continues to surprise people. Thanks to its large sensor and efficient noise control, it performs well at high ISO settings. Whether you're shooting indoor events, nighttime street photography, or wedding receptions, the camera produces clean, usable images at ISO 3200, 6400, and even above. When placed side by side with modern mirrorless cameras, the D750 still maintains a competitive look. While newer sensors may offer slight improvements, the real-world difference is not enough to overshadow the value and consistency the D750 provides. Handling is one of the biggest reasons photographers still love this camera. The D750 has a body that feels solid yet not too heavy, perfectly balanced with the deep grip that Nikon DSLR uses adore. For many photographers, especially those shooting long sessions, this comfort is priceless. When you compare it with the Sony A7C, Canon EOS RP, or Nikon Z50, cameras praised for their lightweight design, you quickly realize that smaller isn't always better. With larger lenses, especially fast primes or telephotos, lightweight mirrorless bodies often feel front-heavy and unstable. The D750, however, stays balanced. This stability helps reduce hand fatigue and gives you better control during long shoots. Another key advantage is the optical viewfinder. In 2025, mirrorless electronic viewfinders are very advanced, bright, sharp, high resolution. But there is still nothing like the natural, lag-free clarity of an optical viewfinder. With the D750, what you see through the lens is immediate and real. There's no digital delay, no refresh rate, no processing, just pure, direct vision. For fast-moving action like sports or wildlife, or even wedding moments like quick reactions or emotional expressions, the optical viewfinder gives you a unique edge in timing and accuracy. Now let's talk about autofocus. The D750's 51-point autofocus system has been tested in almost every scenario imaginable. It's not as flashy as the eye tracking or subject tracking systems in modern mirrorless bodies, but it is extremely reliable. Many event and wedding photographers say that the D750's AF system delivers consistent accuracy, especially when using the center focus point. For moving subjects, it maintains solid tracking, and in low light it still performs better than some of today's entry-level mirrorless cameras. When compared to a Nikon Z5 or Sony A7 II, the D750 often locks focus faster and more confidently through the optical viewfinder. Battery life is one of the biggest differences between DSLRs and mirrorless systems, and this is where the D750 completely dominates. With just one NEL15 battery, the D750 can shoot well over 1,000 images on a single charge. If you're shooting videos or long photo sessions, this can easily stretch through an entire day without needing a charger. Meanwhile, with mirrorless cameras, you often need 2 or 3 batteries just to get through a normal session. For travel photographers, outdoor adventurers, or event shooters working long hours, this advantage alone makes the D750 incredibly dependable. Durability is another factor that keeps the D750 relevant. The camera is built with a magnesium alloy top and rear frame that can withstand tough weather conditions, long travel, and heavy professional use. Many photographers who have owned this camera for years report that it still feels solid, with buttons and dials that haven't worn out. Compared to some modern plastic-heavy mirrorless bodies, the D750 simply feels more rugged and ready for challenging environments. Price-to-performance ratio is a huge reason the D750 remains a top choice in 2025. You can buy the camera at a fraction of the cost of a new full-frame system, and still get professional-level results. When you add the lenses available in the Nikon F-mount ecosystem, the value becomes even stronger. F-mount lenses have been around for decades, which means the used market is full of incredible options at very low prices. You can find sharp primes, versatile zooms, and even high-end professional lenses that fit the D750 perfectly. In contrast, mirrorless lenses, whether Z-mount, RF-mount, or E-mount, are still relatively expensive. Let's compare the D750 with popular alternatives. Against the Sony A7 III, the D750 holds its ground in image quality, dynamic range, and low light, and it beats the Sony in handling stability and battery life. Against the Canon EOS R, the D750 provides more affordable lenses, more consistent autofocus through the viewfinder, and better battery life. Against Nikon's own Z5 or Z6, the D750 may lose some modern features, but it wins in price, robustness, and the availability of lenses. Now, let's talk about real-world shooting situations. For portrait photography, the D750 excels because of its color reproduction and dynamic range. Skin tones look natural, highlights stay controlled, and background bokeh takes on a smooth, pleasing character, especially with classic lenses like the Nikon 85mm f1.8G. For landscape photography, the dynamic range and sensor sharpness allow you to capture sunrise and sunset scenes with beautiful detail. For weddings, the camera shines because of its fast response, great battery life, and dependable AF. For action photography like wildlife or sports, the optical viewfinder and tracking system help you maintain precision and speed. And for video work, although the D750 doesn't have 4K, its 1080p video quality still looks clean and cinematic, especially when paired with good lenses and proper lighting. By 2025, it's clear that the D750 has earned its place as a classic. It offers a balanced mix of image quality, ergonomics, reliability, and affordability that many new cameras simply don't match. It proves that you don't always need the latest technology to create beautiful, impactful images. Sometimes, the best camera is the one that has already proven itself in the real world, the one that works every single time you press the shutter. If you found this video helpful and you want to keep learning more about photography, gear, and the creative process behind every shot, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps me keep producing these deep, educational breakdowns. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.